Faith is very important in Buddhism. It plays really important role. But then we have to know there are two kinds of faith. One is a blind faith. The other is a faith supported by correct knowledge or wisdom. And again here, the faith based on the knowledge is really become the most powerful tool for accomplishing a lot of attainments. In Tibetan kind of Buddhist followers, you have ordinary, common people who follow the tradition by simply a little bit like a blind faith, because their reason for practicing Buddhism is not so much on the value of the knowledge itself or Buddhism itself, but rather following a tradition, following your kind of a parents' path. And because of your parents' identity, being a Buddhist, you also kind of take that identity, and not so much based on how much the knowledge you have in the field of Buddhism, but simply following your parents, and that's type of practitioners, and they are more like belonging to this blind faith. And then on the other hand, you have you cultivated faith based on knowledge, knowing the values, the functions, all these kind of elements in Buddhism correctly. And then you kind of using that knowledge as a basis for cultivating further faith and practicing Buddhism. And that type of really practice is much more powerful, and that's what we really admire and advocate for the practitioners, to really engage in cultivating faith supported by correct wisdom. For example, if you really follow this tradition of practicing Buddhism with the correct knowledge, your faith is supported by correct understanding and so on, then the quality of your practices also really differ significantly. For example, let's say the practice of the refuge in Three Jewels. But if you know the reasons why you're taking refuge, knowing the qualities of the object of the refuge, then this is what faith based on the knowledge. And by this knowledge, it even kind of reinforces your faith in the Three Jewels. Like you have the cultivated the faith in Buddha through knowing his qualities, and you cultivated the faith in Dharma through knowing the powers, the functions, and the capacity of Dharma. And when you have this kind of understanding and knowledge, and your faith in the Dharma is also really valid and very strong and unchangeable. And for that reason, the Buddhists first discuss about the Four Noble Truths, because they are really become the principal teachings regarding our kind of entire the practices. This is because the first truth, the Noble Truth, which is the truth of suffering, and that of the truth of origin, it's about knowing this current state of our kind of reality and surrounding, and the causation of that. When we know that, then we start looking what are the solutions. This comes the next true noble truth, which is the truth of cessation and the truth of a path. And then you really study what you can do to really get rid of the causes of samsara, and by which we are talking about the path. When you follow the correct path, then what you gain or attain is the truth of cessation. Again, you can see there are a lot of wisdom or knowledge involved, and so your understanding of the Dharma based on this correct knowledge it's really become the most precious, because it is the knowledge that's really cultivating further faith, and that kind of the faith is become very solid and is unshakable, and because of that, I can go back and to say the faith is very important in Buddhism, and what most important is the faith based on knowledge and correct understanding.